Hi everyone, this is Kim, and you are listening to Unfiltered One Days, the show where we have real unfiltered conversations about navigating big life transitions as a student, a professional, and a human being. Today's episode is about what it looked like to build a career one deliberate step at a time, not through a single big leap, but through a series of intentional moves that only look like a straight line once you turn around and look back. My guest today came to the US for graduate school, started out as a marketing data analyst, moved through consumer insight and UX research on his way to becoming a senior business intelligence analyst at one of the most recognizable footwear brands in the world. Every move was a choice, not an accident. This is the story, and let's get into it. Saleel came to the United States to pursue his graduate degree at Suffolk University and never look back. Over the 4 years, he has built one of the most consistent and intentional career progression we have seen on this show. What made his story powerful is not just where he ended up, is how deliberately he got there. Every single move was intentional, every role built on the last one, and he did all of his as an international student, navigating a new country, a new job market, and a system. His story is for every student who wonders if steady, consistent progress is enough. Please welcome Saleh. Hi, Saleh. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
Hey Kim, thank you so much for the kind introduction. I'm well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm well too. Thank you so much. So let's just get into it. Can you tell us who you are, where are you from, and what you are up to these days?
Sure. So, you already mentioned it. I'm a senior business intelligence analyst at Crocs, and I graduated from Suffolk University with a master's in marketing, and my concentration was in analytics. I come from a mechanical engineering background. That's what I did in my undergrad, and I lived in Mumbai, and then I moved here to the States for my master's.
That's very interesting. So from the engineering background, and then you came here for marketing analytics. We are excited to hear more about your journey. So first of all, can you take me to the moment you landed in the US? Where were you and what you were carrying and what were you thinking at that time?
Sure. So it was the fall of 2022. That's when I landed here for the first time in the States. I come from a very humble family background. So all I was thinking about is it was all new country to me. There were a lot of what ifs going on in my mind. What if this happens? What if that happens? And all the scenarios that were playing in my head. But I tried to do my best in whatever I could do with a goal set in my mind. So that's how I was going on.
Okay, so at the time, just like other intentional student, you have that doubt, what if, that uncertainty and question in your mind. But now you are here with that steady career. So from the outside, the US looked like one thing, but what did it actually feel like once you got here?
So as much as I've heard back home in India that there are a lot of opportunities in the US, which is true, but that looks from the outside. But when you are here, you understand how difficult it is to grab those opportunities, how difficult it is to get out of your comfort zone. So having an introverted personality was quite challenging here to make connections, to go out of your comfort zone and talk to people. And that is what was very much different for me over here because you do not have your friends which you usually have back home in India. So it was a new place, new country. It took some time to navigate through the process of applying to jobs, to talk to people, networking.
Okay, so I'm actually very interested in about that. I totally agree with everything that you said, and it is very difficult to navigate here to get out from the comfort zone. And you also mentioned you are naturally introvert. So how did you really overcome that barrier, and how did you get out from your comfort zone and build your confidence and your network? If you can also share a little about that.
So all I kept trying to tell myself to get out of that comfort zone was telling myself what my end goal was. I kept looking at it, what I wanted to do, what I'm doing, and what's the gap that's there from stopping me from achieving that goal. And it was my own self that I wasn't going out, I wasn't networking, I wasn't trying to build my network. I was just staying in the university and studying, but not trying to attend some networking events. So I realized I should do that more, and that's actually how I ended up getting my first job at Staples as a consumer insights analyst. That was through networking, actually.
That actually lead me to the follow-up question. How did you actually secure your first job? And you already mentioned networking. Can you also tell us a little bit more about what does the
Sure.
process look like? And also from there, you moved from internship to full-time and another full-time. So if you can also share your journey on that.
Sure. So what happened was, I realized that I wasn't networking, and then I started attending some networking events. So there was one networking event that was happening where the universities were taking you to the companies that are in Boston. So I just happened to tag along, and I visited Staples at that time. And then I just talked and networked with the HR over there. And week later or so, they had a posting for a position that I wanted to apply for. So I just reached out to the HR, and she put me in touch with the hiring manager. And that's how I ended up interviewing and getting my first job in the States.
So it's take a lot of courage to go to the networking section, being
Yes.
proactive to talk to the HR and also
Hmm.
having a good communication that all lead to fast job, right? Now you work at Cross as a senior business intelligence. For those who doesn't know what does it mean, what it really is, can you explain that to a student who has never had those word before?
Sure thing. So there are like two or three aspects to what being a business intelligence analyst is. First would be like the product or the business. So how are the sales this year, for example? How are they doing year over year? What was it last year? How are we performing? Are we seeing any risk in our plans? So those would be like the questions that you tackle on the product or the business side. Then there is also the consumer side. So which is like how many new customers are you getting for the sale that you are running? What is the repeat customer rate? What is the churn rate? Such kind of questions that would fall under the customer aspect of being the business intelligence analyst. Apart from that, there is also a lot of tool building, like you build some tools for other teams to use to make some decisions for the business. So that would include building some dashboards or also automating some of the stuff. You use a lot of AI too. That's like the new thing that's going on right now. You need to be caught up with it. So you use a lot of AI to automate things. That's basically what it is.
Okay, thank you for the brief explanation. So it is about product and business, how the sale, how the business is doing, and
Mhm.
consumer, and it can be how many new consumer, consumer retention, and how many people left the brand essentially, and then what are tool building for their business as well. And so for those anyone who want to know more, you can directly connect to Saleel on LinkedIn as well. Most people in data pick only one lane and stay, but you move from marketing analytics to consumer and now business intelligence. What was driving those moves and what did each one teach you about yourself?
So, like I said before, I had set my goal that I wanted to be in business intelligence. And in order to be a successful business intelligence analyst, you need to understand the different aspects of the business. So, those different aspects would be customer analytics or the UX analytics, marketing analytics, all of those would fall under business analytics, business intelligence analytics. So, I try to just follow like my goal. I started with the opportunity that I got at Staples as a consumer insights analyst, and that's where I learned a lot more about how customers and consumers react to the promotions that we run. And after doing that, I also took the opportunity of learning more about the UX side of things. So that gave me more knowledge about what customers think when they see certain things on the website or like any stimuli on the screen. And after that, I got into the business intelligence role. Because of those previous roles, I was feeling more confident and knowledgeable about the business side of things as well, and how a customer would think, and also the UX side of things, and just building my knowledge more about it. That's what got me into Crocs.
So you started from a very specific like consumer insight and then getting a broad experience and now move to a broader level of business aspect. So, what would be your advice for those who want to get into business intelligence or any analyst role?
One thing that I would to say is do not narrow down your field at the very start of your career. Don't go super niche. I would say stay at a level where you get to learn, but at the same time, you can pivot easily into other roles as well. Because if you go super niche at the very start of your career, then the options later on become lesser. So it's better to get experiences from different aspects. And after that, you can choose what you like and then stick to that field and grow into that field. But having knowledge and experience of different fields and different side of business doesn't hurt.
Thank you for that. It's a very great advice not to be limited ourselves when we start at our career or when you start working. So building a life here while staying connected to home is also on kind of a balancing act. How did you manage that and what kept you grounded?
It is difficult given the fact that there is a 9.5 hour difference between the Eastern Standard Time and the Indian Standard Time. I honestly don't have a specific answer for that, like how I kept myself grounded, but I just try to think of three things: what I came here to do, what I am doing, and what I want to do. So those three questions, that's what I keep asking myself. And that kind of brings me back from wherever I am and puts me on the track back again. So that has helped me.
That's really a great answer. Beyond the career, how did you really balance everything else? So it can be relationship, identity, and day-to-day pressure of building life in a completely new country.
So I feel that whenever, as an international student especially, you should have like good friends. So that's very important for you to identify like who your good friends are. And good friends help you like grow. So I've been lucky that I'm a part of different communities, and I have some good friends who helped me push through my difficult times. And that is what has helped me throughout the process.
I really love the fact you mentioned about different community. As myself also involved in different community. It can be religious, it can be same background, same ethnic background as well. Do you also have like any suggestion on those how people can really get friends or relationship and how can they really involve in their community as well?
Well, I feel like a very starting point to finding what communities are out there would be Facebook groups. That's where you would know what is out there, what people are doing around you. There are also apps like Eventbrite, so you can see what's happening around you and you can try to explore it as well. And it's really helpful to have a hobby, given how much pressure you have from school or from work. Having a hobby definitely helps and refreshes your mind.
Do you have a good example of having a hobby and that really help you to stay motivated and keep going? And how did you really use that hobby in this country?
So I have been a percussionist and I play percussion instruments and this very specific instrument called tabla. So whenever I'm stressed or whenever I feel low, I play some music on it, and it helps me relax. And I've like started running more. So now when I'm running, I feel relaxed too. Well, it wasn't the case initially because I was dying, but I feel like it's very relaxing to just go out and be with yourself, run, not look at the screen. So that's really helpful.
Thank you for sharing that. That's really helpful. And I totally agree with having a hobby at the same time, connecting with people who those have the same hobby. So that also can help you with your community and networking as well. Are there any advice that you received early on that turned out to be completely wrong?
Well, like I mentioned before, too, a lot of people around me told me that attending networking events was not gonna be useful. It's gonna be like a waste of time. You would rather focus on applying to jobs on LinkedIn instead of, attending such events. So that is one thing I felt was inaccurate. Going out and networking in the right way definitely helps you grow in your career and also just meet good people, make new friends. And also there's a lot to learn from everyone. There's always something new to learn from a single new person.
So just applying job is not enough. You really need to go out and meet people that really help you in your career and to really get into a new opportunity. So, what do you know now? What will have scared you if you knew it on day one?
Well, I feel that you, as a part of any company in the world, you can be replaced. So that's one thing that I've understood after working in corporate for so long now. And if I told myself that in the beginning of my career, that would have scared me. But I feel that it's on you. Like, it's easy to be replaced, but it would take like 3 to 4 people to replace your role. So you have to like get to a point where, yes, replacing is easy, but you would need a lot more resources than just one person. So that's how it is.
This is very hard true, is very true. You are easily replaceable. But I know that you have this career, and I mean, it's also come from your own experience, right? You see people easily get replaced. Like, how did you really maintain your emotional, mental health, knowing that this uncertainty? How did you keep moving to make sure that you are on the right track and you are doing well?
I usually talk to my friends about how I am feeling. And I feel that talking with my friends and opening up about my emotions has helped me rather than just suppressing them and going in the spirals of overthinking.
Okay. So having good friends, good relationship,
Mhm.
being important part of being here in the other country and being an international student.
Yes.
What is a question nobody asks you about your career that you wish they will?
Well, everyone usually asks, like, have you got the job? Um, how did you get to the success point? But no one asks you, like, there's always like a low point in your life, and no one asks how did you pick yourself up from the low points that you had in your journey, and what was it that drove you to get to the stage that you are at right now. So I feel like that is one thing that we can ask each other, and that would give us more motivation to work and actually feel the progress.
Yeah, that's very powerful question. And so to actually ask you the same question, how do you really pick up yourself from the low point? What would be your answer to that?
Instead of reacting to a situation that comes up, I take a step back. I usually try to relax, retrospect, talk to my friends, and meditating definitely helps. And I keep my eye on the final goal that I have. Like I mentioned before, those 3 questions: what you came here to do, what you are doing now, and what you want to do. That's what I keep asking and gets me through. Mhm.
Not really react to angry or depressed or not really like feel hopeless, but try to relax and talk to close friends that you
Mhm.
can talk to, meditating, try to like calm down with yourself and focusing on that what you are doing now and what you want to do in the future that really help you. So to wrap up our conversation, if you could sit down with yourself on the very first day you arrive
Mhm.
here, before you figure any of this out, what will be the
Mhm.
one thing you want to hear on that day?
Well, that's a difficult one. If I were to meet myself when I came here with the same person that I'm right now and talking to the person that just arrived to the States, I would just tell myself to believe in whatever is happening around you. It's for a good cause, and the dots will connect later in the future.
Wow, such a good answer and a good perspective. So, Salih, thank you so much, really. And what you shared today is not just a career story or international student story. This is a human one, and you build every step of this deliberately, one decision at a time, and in a country and a system that don't always make that easy, and you did it anyway. So, what Sally's story show us is that you don't need one big leap to build a career worth being proud of. Consistency count, every deliberate step compound, build your skill, stay intentional, have a good friends and build your community. Keep moving even when the path doesn't look like a straight line yet. So that's not a shortcut, that's the whole thing. So if something in this conversation hit home for you, a comment, a sentence, even just a feeling, I want you to sit with that and then share this episode with one person who need to hear it, because this is how this story travel, one person at a time. And if you're in the middle of figuring it out right now, Shango is offering 2 free coaching session for college students. No pressure, no push, just real support from someone who has been where you are, head to Shine Go and take the first step. Follow us on Instagram at shine.go and subscribe on YouTube so you never miss a story. I'm Kim. This is Unfiltered Honest Days. And remember, you do not have to figure out this alone. And we will see you in 2 weeks.